welcome. This is Allie with the Sea Owl, and I'm so glad that you have come across this video and found yourself here with me. I have set the intention for the highest good that what you're meant to hear will come through in this reading for you. And it's also my intention that this will set you up for the week ahead. I'm recording this on a Sunday, but really, whenever you come across it, we'll have a message for you, because I have manifested and deemed that this video will only find those who have a message in it. Before we get started, I would really like to do a mini meditation with a singing bowl to help us ground our energy, to feel more expansive. It's very interesting. I'm seeing 12:12 on the time as I sit down to record this. So to feel more expansive, more connected, and to open ourselves up for healing, for clarity, and for whatever messages your spirit team wants to bring through for you. So if you're wearing headphones or if you're sensitive to sound, just be mindful of that. And we'll do this for about 30 seconds and then we'll get started. Okay, so as I was meditating, I had a feeling which kind of came through in a reading I did a few days ago about a heaviness, a weariness, and it really did feel connected to the state of the world. And I think you could be living just about anywhere right now and be feeling the weight and the impact of what is going on globally. It's been an enormous time of upheaval. And if we're being very honest, you know, the last 6 to 10 years have been a time of upheaval in one way or another. And I feel that heaviness here. So Spirit may be wanting to bring something through for us. I was... in regards to that heaviness, that weariness, I was called to a few specific decks, and I'd like to go ahead and just get the overall energy here of what's going on. So, Spirit, can we have the overall energy of the message that you are wanting to bring through, please and thank you. Please and thank you. Overall message and energy here, please. Overall message and energy here, please. Yeah, something feels stuck and kind of harsh, and that was coming through in the meditation for me as well. All right, they keep putting a different deck in my mind's eye. So perhaps they want us to go there first, and that's fine. I'm not going to push that. This deck came through really strongly. So let's see what's here. I'll just roll with the punches. All right, Spirit, what is the message that you have for us here, please and thank you? As you can see, this is a pretty big deck, so it's a little challenging to shuffle, but it's one of my favorites. I actually use it quite a bit here on the channel. This is so interesting. Thanks for bearing with me. But now they're actually calling for me to to cut this deck in a way that I almost never do. And they want me to pull from the bottom. Yeah, this one, I can't remember what it is that has the Post-it note on it, probably from YouTube rules. The bottom, the middle, and the top. Okay. I almost never do this. Ooh, look at that. The sun. And it's covered, of course, for YouTube rules. I think it's very interesting that the sun is at the center of the reading. And the first kind of message that I get here is that a period of upheaval where we feel like we're drowning, we're looking for a savior, we're looking for something or someone to save us. It's kind of a very similar imagery here. And I don't have any, so we're just going to put this here just to be extra careful and mindful of the rules. It's a very similar vibe on either side of, it's a heaviness, it's a weariness, it's a needing an escape, a needing to be saved. And this could be a feeling globally and in your personal life. You know, needing a miracle, needing someone to save you. And it's really fascinating to me because the sun is not only considered one of the happiest cards in the deck, but a card of enlightenment. And I feel like this period of intense harshness and heaviness and feeling of drowning is the storm that was needed to bring about enlightenment for not only yourself, but for the masses, for loved ones. It is like a tower moment, is what I'm getting. They're wanting me to look at the bottom. 6 of Wands. Okay, yeah. So it may feel like a period of harshness, drowning that you're enduring right now, or that loved ones are, or the world at large. And what this is doing is ushering in a new age of enlightenment. And this feels very expansive. It feels very calm and peaceful. It's kind of interesting. I mean, obviously I can speak, I'm more well versed in where I live, which is the United States, but it's kind of giving me that feeling of the Statue of Liberty with the hair, or the beams of light right there coming from her hair. But it doesn't have to be specific to the United States, because I think, well, I'm going to try to completely keep my feelings out of it and just read the energy. And so it feels as though some harsh upheaval is actually going to bring about enlightenment to the masses, where the dark pain is exposed and a new age or new dawn can be brought forth. And this feels really big to be channeling this, quite frankly. I had no idea that the reading was going to go in this direction, but it is. And I'm an honest reader to a fault. So this is what I am sensing, what's coming through here. And what I will say, I don't know if you can tell by my constant pausing, but it really feels challenging to bring this message through, because I am so frustrated with the pain and cruelty that I see being inflicted on human beings at this time. But it's a message for me too, that on a grand scale of things, this painful era is ushering in a new dawn. And it really goes hand in hand with a similar theme that has been coming through in spiritual circles for several years, of a new earth, a new era, and that the old world is dying and a new world is being born. And so they're bringing me back to the Tower card, that energy, where the old foundation has to be decimated and crumbled in order for there to be a new solid foundation built, right? Let me just see if there's anything else from this deck that they want to say. But the period of time that, you know, they're drawing me back. Look at that 4 of Wands. I mean, that's very clarifying. Thank you. With 6 of Wands remaining at the bottom. They're bringing me to this card here specifically. So this person in the water has their hands up calling for help. And there's a lighthouse here. They're very close to being rescued, for the light to be shown on them, to get out of this turbulent water. Okay. And this light is literally a beam of enlightenment for the masses, would be the phrase that I would say keeps repeating in my mind. Enlightenment for the masses. And this is what we have been hearing and talking about in spiritual circles for many years. So to see it so clearly in the cards is something for me. It's definitely something. I don't believe at all that it's a coincidence that I felt drawn to grab a piece of black tourmaline to cover the image on the Page of Wands, because black tourmaline absorbs negativity and repels toxic energy. And so I think it would behoove all of us to be more mindful about carrying, wearing, sleeping next to a piece of black tourmaline at this time. But if you can see here, this card says structure, joy, and celebration. 4 of Wands. So that structure, a solid structure, a solid foundation that our planet hasn't had in a long time. I don't know. I feel very ashamed to say this. I don't actually know how long millennia is. I don't know, but that's what I'm hearing for a millennia. And I've gotten several times, I don't know if I need to, well, okay, it's here, so I'm going to say it. And several times in different meditations, I have had this vision and have been told about the 6th iteration of humanity. And so I think it's very possible that we are in a place as a species where we have gone through this and we have blown each other up or decimated one another, or there's been some great restructuring of humanity as a whole, and we may be here on the verge of collapse in order to get it right, which sounds kind of scary to even say that out loud, if I'm being honest. But the 4 of Wands is a joyful card. We have joy on 2 cards here. Freshness is here on the Page of Wands. Ever moving forward, bearer of tidings. I mean, this 6 of Wands on the bottom of the deck, this is positive change, positive movement. Okay. Let's see if there's one more. I mean, I don't know how much more positive we could get than this, quite frankly. So if the heaviness that you're feeling is in terms of, this 5 of Wands, that makes a lot of sense. Feeling like there is, you're having difficulty having strength, that maybe there's some dark forces that are puppeteering us as humans, that they're the overarching energy here, no matter where your views fall, the overarching energy here is the sun, is illumination, enlightenment, joy, restructuring. Okay? Relief after high intensity. Look at this. Relief after high intensity. So I feel like that's what we have to look forward to. Each and every one of us have been going through something personally and, interpersonally on planet Earth. And we are moving out of that swiftly, is what I want to say. Yeah, because I just picked up the card on the top of the deck, Knight of Wands. Swiftly. Quickly. Let's see now, because they did have, I felt like the card that wanted to come out of here would be clarifying this message when it didn't come through the first time. There we go. Starflower, finding grace. This, and then resurrection with Poppy at the bottom of the deck. Number 76. Does that reduce to a 13? I think so. The death card in tarot, resurrection. So let's see here. Let's see. Starflower. In our book, it says finding grace, number 92, reduces to an 11. I'm very drawn to the peacock. This is just really interesting. Let's see. See what it says. 92. Some call this plant by her more common name, borage. I'm probably saying that incorrectly, but she prefers starflower, and wouldn't you? Her blue star-shaped petals shine among the garden's more usual yellows and pinks, shimmering yet understated, like an old-time movie starlet. Starflower shares a timeless philosophy with these legends of the silver screen. Grace isn't something you keep for yourself, she tells us. Grace, Starflower knows, is a gift you give over and over again to the world around you. If you're thoughtful and caring and true, grace develops a patina over time, becoming wisdom, cradling those lucky enough to be in your presence. How can you let a little more grace in your life? This is really fascinating because, I'm going to read this quote real quick. Remember, having faith means recognizing the value of what you are here to contribute to the world and allowing your actions to be grounded in that truth. It's also talking here about how we all have gifts and, a need to appreciate your unique gifts and to share them with the world. Yeah, so what I'm getting with this card is you may have difficulty finding grace for those people who are really difficult to have grace for at this time. We have been pushed to have a complete almost hatred and discord of other, particularly for those who knowingly and willingly cause harm to others, be it other human beings or the planet or both. And I think the way that we can really usher in this age of enlightenment or help ourselves and others, the planet, is to offer and find a way to offer more grace to those who seemingly you would want to give it to the least. This is so challenging, but it's making me think of Christ consciousness. And when I think of what Yeshua and his message means to me, without all of the religious dogma, it always comes back to this feeling of unconditional love and acceptance. It didn't matter who you were or what you did or how you showed up in the world. He was sitting with the people that no one else wanted to sit with. He was washing the feet of those that people were disgusted by. He was loving on the lepers. You know, even if you don't believe in that he existed, or the terrible way that the teachings of this individual have been perverted over time, I'll say, there's that message there that I think is the truest form of being human, is to love unconditionally. And the most difficult place to do that is with people who we find the most abhorrent. There is something within ourselves. This is very challenging for me to channel, but it's here. There's something within ourselves that makes us find disgust in others. And perhaps this is an old way of being that we've grown out of, that we see other people exhibiting, and so it really upsets us. Or even we see people doing things we could never fathom, but there's something within us that's creating resistance from being able to offer them love and grace anyway. They're actually putting an asterisk in my mind by the word grace. So it's not really saying that you need to go out and wash the feet of someone who hurt you or someone you love irreparably. But is there a way that you can find to offer grace to yourself and that person? Because it frees you, is what they're saying. It frees you. And it's kind of that age-old adage that forgiveness is not for the other person, but it's for you, because as long as you hold that energy towards someone, they have power and control over you, even if you haven't spoken to them in 20 or 25 years. So it is a call to help usher in this new age, because if you're still here, I don't think you would still be here if this doesn't resonate for you in some way. How can you this week find a way to offer grace to people that you last week were correcting or chewing out on the internet, for an example, or someone who cuts you off in traffic, or, someone who is rude to you in the grocery store? I think this week we're being asked, as things really amp up, because I do think there's going to be a further amp up of the painful energy this week, perhaps. And maybe painful is not the right word. Chaotic might be better, because some people's chaos might be good, but it might be chaotic still, which is a stressor on its own. So how can you find a way to usher in more grace towards yourself and other this week? Because times, I would never say this, but this is what they just said in my head. Times they are a changin'. Isn't that a song? There may be a message in that song, unless it's just a phrase. I don't know. But times are a changing. And we were called here to hold a frequency and help usher in this new age. There's also something here about being seen. Using your unique gifts, whether it's writing or painting, creating music, and starting to share it, even if it feels scary, even if it feels overwhelming. With the star and the peacock here, have grace with yourself. You're going to fail. You're going to fail, and you're going to screw up, and you're going to feel cringy sometimes about the way you put yourself out there, but do it anyway, because there's 80% of the people on this planet are looking for someone to show them the way. And you may have a special gift that needs to be shown or shared with the world that helps continue this elevation of enlightenment, of bright light, of grace-filled light that we need in the world right now. So it's really a call. It is a call this week to start being really intentional about sharing your unique gifts with the world, making a plan, and offering grace. Just try every day this week, and soon it will be easier and easier to not experience road rage when someone does something really crummy on the street. I'm being reminded of this, I don't know, it wasn't really a meme, it was like a picture that I saw. It was a picture that I saw not too long ago, and it had all of these cars on the street and stuck in a traffic jam, and above each car had like this bubble of what the person in the car was going through. And one person was trying to get to their dying loved one in time. Another person was going to get a special treat for themselves. Another person was taking their sick animal to the vet. Another person was on their way to their first date. And so I really needed to see that a few months ago, and it's a good refresher. I'm grateful that they're bringing it to my attention now, because we get so stuck in our own little world. And we think, why would somebody do that to me? Why would this stranger be rude to me in a store, cut me off in traffic, or, pull out in front of me, whatever, XYZ. And I think we really do forget, because we have been living in a weirdly isolated but also very public time in the world. With the internet, it's very weird. But it's also very isolating. And I think we really forget everyone is having their own very unique personal experience. Anyway, I'm grateful that popped up. I do kind of want to see if they have anything else. I don't know that they do, but let's just go ahead and see if we can get one more card. I mean, any final message, Spirit? Any final message for anyone who's still here listening? Final message for the week ahead, please. Whew. All right, let's see. We have death. We already had that come up. 6 of Cups and King of Wands. Yeah, I think it's something from your past is kind of imploding, but this isn't bad. It doesn't feel bad at all, actually. It feels very abundant. It feels like, if I'm being very honest, that while the world is kind of on fire, literally the way this card is shown in the background, your internal world and your world at home is going to feel very safe and abundant. Look at the sun hanging here with a little girl. It says, disconnection from adult responsibilities, nostalgia, unequal relationship, and generosity are the words here. The disconnection from adult responsibilities really stood out to me. So there's a call, and this has been coming up here for me for a bit, to reconnect. Ooh, sorry, that was probably loud. Sorry. To reconnect with things from your childhood that brought you joy. Maybe this is playing with your kids or your grandkids or your nieces or nephews more. Maybe this is doing something from your childhood that you really enjoyed, like playing a game, putting a puzzle together, coloring, playing with Play-Doh, making something out of clay, like doing something that brought you joy. Maybe spending a little time making your house feel more, I don't know, I'm getting like adorned, maybe flowers, and working really hard again on not carrying like guilt or ill will towards anyone in the week ahead, because there's a big rebirth energy here. It feels like, I don't know, maybe in the early part of the week, and by the end of the week, you're going to feel like you really conquered something that has been energetically or otherwise just really weighing you down for a while. So I think all in all, for most of us, this is going to be a big week of transformation, of shifts internally and externally for many of us. And I think in the midst of the chaos, because I do keep getting this energy that there's going to be more chaos this week on the world stage. And in the midst of this, to have grace for yourself and others, to find ways to play. This is in no way sticking your head in the sand about the atrocities happening globally. It is a way to protect your energy, as you are a frequency and energy holder on planet Earth right now. And that a reminder that these things are tower moments that we have to navigate for the enlightenment to have space to enter and create. Okay? So I think that's what we have for you for this week. This was really fun. I had a lot of fun setting up this new kind of set here. And I hope it sounds good. I hope it looks good. We will see. This was very exciting and fun for me. I just saw 111 on the timer. So that might be something that you're seeing. New beginnings, a new path ahead. But anyway, I'm so grateful that you spent this precious time with me here and your spirit team. I hope that you take excellent care of yourself this week. If you could like, share, or subscribe, if you feel called to do that. And I am open for personal readings if you feel called to do that. All my information's in the description box. You can go to my website at theseaowl.com. Yeah, but more than anything, I hope that you take excellent care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.